There is something unmistakably different about souls born on January 2nd. And I'm not talking about the fact that you've just barely scratched the surface of a brand new year. No, there's something far more profound at play here. Something that the ancient astrologers understood but rarely spoke of in public. You see, when the cosmos births a person on this precise day, it is making a deliberate statement. This is someone who carries within them the impossible duality of being both deeply grounded in the material world while simultaneously reaching toward a light that most people cannot even see. If you are born on January 2nd, you are one of the rarest souls to walk this earth, a being who possesses the disciplined, ambitious nature of the mountain goat, but also carries within your heart the soft, luminous energy of someone who has glimpsed the divine. And I absolutely know that sometimes you feel caught between two worlds, like you don't quite fit into the rigid structures that society demands, while simultaneously feeling called to build something lasting, something that will outlast the ephemeral nature of our modern lives. Perhaps you've always felt a strange pull toward spirituality, toward understanding the deeper meaning behind everything, even when others around you seemed perfectly content with surface-level existence. This is not an accident, dear viewer. This is your cosmic inheritance. And today, we are going to unpack exactly what that means for your journey through this lifetime. So if you're ready to finally understand why you've always felt like you were born under a different sky than everyone else, why your ambitions seem almost spiritual in their intensity, and why relationships both drain and fulfill you in ways that confuse even yourself, then keep watching, because this reading is going to change the way you see yourself forever. Let us begin by anchoring ourselves in the cosmic truth of what it means to be a Capricorn, because understanding your sun sign is the foundation upon which everything else about your astrological identity is built. Capricorn is the 10th sign of the zodiac, and in the ancient astrological tradition, this placement is associated with the concept of the summit, the peak of the mountain that can only be reached through sustained effort, patience, and an unwavering commitment to one's goals. When you are born between December 22nd and January 19th, the sun is moving through Capricorn, which means that at the moment of your first breath, the very center of our solar system was casting its light through the lens of this ancient mountain goat constellation. But here's what makes January 2nd specifically so extraordinary. You are not just any Capricorn. You are a Capricorn at approximately 12 degrees, which places you deep within the first decan of the sign, giving you a particularly potent dose of Capricorn's core energy, while also imbuing you with certain qualities that are uniquely your own. The element of earth runs through your veins like molten gold, giving you a practical, grounded nature that others often mistake for being cold or overly logical, when in reality, your connection to the material world is simply more sophisticated than most. You understand, perhaps better than anyone else born under different signs, that in order to manifest your dreams into physical reality, you must work within the framework of the physical universe. You must honor time, discipline, and structured effort. This is not a limitation for you, it is your greatest gift. Because while others are off dreaming without acting, you are building cathedrals with your bare hands, one stone at a time. The planet Saturn, the ancient lord of time and karma, rules your sun sign. And this is perhaps the most significant piece of the puzzle when it comes to understanding who you are at your core. Saturn demands respect, it demands patience, and it demands that you earn everything you receive through genuine effort and demonstrated competence. There are no shortcuts for the January 2nd Capricorn. No magic wands or lucky breaks that will carry you to success without some form of sacrifice along the way. But this is not a curse. It is actually one of the greatest gifts the cosmos could have bestowed upon you, because it means that anything you achieve will be truly yours, built on a foundation that cannot be shaken by the winds of change or the passing of time. You carry within you an ancient wisdom, a knowing that success is not a destination, but a journey, and that the person you become in the process of pursuing your goals matters far more than the goal itself. This is why people born on January 2nd often become leaders in their respective fields, not because they seek power for its own sake, but because they understand that with great power comes great responsibility, and they are willing to shoulder that responsibility with grace and determination. Your psychological depth is remarkable, perhaps one of the most psychologically complex individuals of any zodiac sign, because you are constantly balancing the earthy, practical demands of Saturn with the spiritual, aspirational energy that we are going to explore more deeply when we discuss your Sabian symbol. You see the world as it truly is, with all its imperfections and all its beauty. And rather than becoming cynical or disillusioned, you have chosen the more difficult path of working to improve it, one brick at a time. This is your gift. This is your calling. And this is why when you walk into a room, people sense that something different is happening, that a person of substance and depth has entered their space. Now we come to one of the most fascinating and often overlooked aspects of your astrological chart, and that is the concept of the Decan, which is a fancy astrological term for dividing each zodiac sign into 3 equal parts of 10 degrees each. When you were born on January 2nd, the sun was approximately at 12 degrees of Capricorn, which places you squarely in the 2nd decan of the sign. And this is where things get really interesting, because the 2nd decan of Capricorn is co-ruled by the planet Venus, the beautiful goddess of love, beauty, and harmony. Now, I want you to pause for a moment and really let that sink in, because this is a profound cosmic truth that shapes your entire personality in ways that you may have never fully understood. You are a Capricorn, which is often stereotyped as being cold, rigid, ambitious to the point of being ruthless, and perhaps even emotionally detached. But the Venusian influence of your 2nd decan adds a beautiful layer of warmth, sensitivity, and aesthetic appreciation that sets you apart from your Capricorn siblings born in the 1st or 3rd decan. This is why you likely have a deep appreciation for beauty in all its forms, whether it's the beauty of a well-crafted piece of music, the visually elegance of a perfectly designed space, or the profound beauty that can be found in human connection and intimate relationships. You are not just building castles in the sky or accumulating wealth for the sake of accumulation. No, you are building something beautiful, something that has soul and heart woven into its very foundation. The Venusian influence also gives you a charm and charisma that many other Capricorns lack, an ability to navigate social situations with grace and diplomacy that makes others naturally drawn to you. This is not manipulation or inauthenticity. It is simply your natural way of creating harmony in your environment, of making others feel seen and valued in your presence. In your professional life, this might manifest as an ability to read a room and adjust your approach accordingly, or as a natural talent for negotiations and partnership building that serves you extremely well in business contexts. In your personal life, this Venusian energy makes you a deeply romantic partner who values emotional connection and physical intimacy, who understands that love is not just about grand gestures, but about the small, daily acts of kindness and attentiveness that build a lasting bond. However, and this is an important however, the Venusian influence in your 2nd decan can also present certain challenges that you must be aware of in order to fully actualize your potential. There can be a tendency to prioritize harmony over truth, to avoid necessary conflicts in order to keep the peace, or to seek external validation and approval instead of trusting your own internal wisdom. You may find yourself torn between your Capricorn nature, which demands authenticity and earned achievement, and your Venusian nature, which craves connection and belonging. The key to integrating these seemingly opposing forces is to understand that true harmony comes not from avoiding conflict, but from navigating it with grace and integrity, and that your worth is not determined by how others perceive you, but by the genuine quality of the work and relationships you create in the world. Let us now venture into the mystical realm of the Sabian symbols, which are a set of 30 symbolic images, one for each degree of the zodiac, that were channeled in the early 20th century and have since become a powerful tool for deeper astrological interpretation. The Sabian symbol for approximately 12 degrees of Capricorn, which corresponds directly to your birth date of January 2nd, is a person ascending toward the light. Now, I want you to close your eyes for just a moment and really visualize this image, because it contains within it the entire cosmic blueprint for your soul's journey in this lifetime. Imagine yourself standing at the base of a great mountain, the kind of mountain that seems impossible to climb, its peak disappearing into the clouds, its slopes steep and treacherous, covered in rocks and ice and all manner of obstacles that would make any reasonable person turn back and find an easier path. But you are not a reasonable person, are you? No. You are someone who was born with an inherent knowing that the only way forward is up, that the only way to truly live is to keep ascending, no matter how difficult the journey becomes. And so you begin to climb, not with the reckless abandon of youth, but with the steady, purposeful determination of someone who understands that greatness is achieved through sustained effort over time. As you climb higher and higher, the air becomes thinner, the wind grows stronger, and the challenges become more intense. But something remarkable is happening as well. The light around you is changing, shifting from the gray and muted tones of the lower elevations to brilliant golds and silvers and whites that seem to emanate from somewhere just beyond your field of vision. You cannot yet see the source of this light, but you can feel its warmth, its pull, its irresistible invitation to keep going, to keep ascending, to keep becoming more of who you truly are. This, dear viewer, is the essence of your Sabian symbol, and it explains so much about who you are and why you are here. You are a soul that is in the process of ascending, not toward some external heaven or future paradise, but toward the light of your own true nature, the light that has always been within you, but that you have had to earn the right to see through hard work, perseverance, and the courage to face your own shadow along the way. This is why you have likely experienced periods of intense struggle in your life, moments when the path forward seemed impossibly steep and the temptation to give up was overwhelming. These were not punishments or failures. They were the necessary climbing of your personal mountain, the earning of your right to stand in the light. The Sabian symbol also speaks to a deeply spiritual dimension of your nature that you may not always feel comfortable acknowledging in a world that often values practicality over mysticism. You are not just building a career or a family or a life. You are on a sacred journey of ascension, of becoming, of transforming yourself from the person you were born as into the person you are meant to become. This is your calling, your dharma, your cosmic purpose, and it is why you have never been able to fully accept the status quo or settle for a life that feels less than extraordinary. The light you are ascending toward is the light of your own highest potential. And while the journey is difficult, while there will be moments of doubt and fear and exhaustion, you must never forget that you were born for this ascent, that you have within you everything you need to reach the summit. Now we come to the realm of numerology, and I want to be very clear about something before we dive in, because there is often confusion about this in the astrological community. The number we are discussing today is not your life path number, which would require knowing your full birth date, including the year, and which would give us a much more complete picture of your life's purpose and direction. Instead, we are looking at your birthday number, which is derived solely from the day of the month on which you were born. And this provides profound insight into your core personality traits, your natural gifts, and the challenges you are most likely to face. When you were born on the second day of the month, your birthday number is 2. And this number carries with it an extraordinary amount of cosmic significance that perfectly complements and amplifies the Capricorn energy we have already explored. The number 2 in numerology is associated with duality, partnership, sensitivity, diplomacy, and the concept of balance between opposing forces. And when you add this to your Capricorn nature, you get a truly unique blend of energies that sets you apart. Let's break this down in detail, because understanding your birthday number 2 is essential to understanding why you feel the way you do, why you were drawn to certain things and repelled by others, and how you can harness this energy to create the life you truly deserve. First and foremost, the number 2 is the number of partnership. which means that relationships are absolutely central to your life purpose and your soul's growth. This is not just about romantic relationships, although those are certainly important. This is about your relationship to yourself, to others, to the divine, and to the world at large. You are a natural diplomat, someone who has the innate ability to see both sides of any situation and to find common ground between opposing viewpoints. This makes you an excellent mediator, counselor, and friend, because people instinctively feel safe in your presence, knowing that you will listen without judgment and offer guidance that honors their perspective while also challenging them to grow. However, and this is a big however, the number 2 also carries with it certain challenges that you must be aware of in order to avoid getting stuck in patterns that no longer serve your highest good. Because you are so naturally attuned to the needs and feelings of others, there is a very real danger of losing yourself in relationships, of giving so much of yourself that you forget what you actually want and need. You may find yourself constantly seeking external validation, constantly adjusting your behavior to keep the peace, or constantly putting the needs of others before your own legitimate needs. This is not noble or spiritual. It is actually a form of self-abandonment that will ultimately lead to resentment and bitterness if left unchecked. The key to harnessing the power of your birthday number 2 is to understand that healthy relationships require healthy boundaries, that you cannot pour from an empty cup, and that your own needs and desires are just as important as anyone else's. Another crucial aspect of the number 2 energy is its association with sensitivity and intuition. You are not the type of person who can simply ignore your feelings or push them aside in pursuit of some external goal. Your emotions are a gift, a powerful source of information about what is right for you and what is not. And when you learn to honor them rather than suppress them, you will find that they guide you toward exactly the right people, situations, and opportunities. Your intuition is also exceptionally strong, perhaps stronger than you realize, and learning to trust it fully is one of your greatest life lessons. The number 2 is also associated with balance and harmony, which connects beautifully with the Venusian influence in your Capricorn Decan. You have a natural aesthetic sense, an appreciation for beauty and elegance, and a desire to create environments and relationships that feel good to be in. This is not superficial or materialistic. It is a genuine soul-level need to surround yourself with beauty and harmony as a way of honoring the divine in the manifest world. Finally, I want to speak to you about the power of collaboration, which is perhaps the most important gift of your birthday number 2. You are not meant to go it alone in this life, dear viewer. While you certainly have the discipline and determination to achieve great things on your own, your true power lies in your ability to form partnerships and alliances that amplify your natural gifts and compensate for your areas of growth. Whether it's a business partnership, a close friendship, or romantic relationship, or your connection to a higher power, understanding that you are part of something larger than yourself is key to unlocking your full potential. The number 2 reminds you that while you may be one individual, you are never truly alone, and that the divine feminine energy of receptivity, collaboration, and connection that you carry within you is your greatest superpower. Now let's explore the realm of career and vocation, which is an area of life that holds particular significance for the January 2nd Capricorn, given that your sun sign is all about achievement, ambition, and the building of lasting structures in the world. But before we dive into specific career paths, I want to take a moment to acknowledge something important. You are not just looking for a job or even a career. You are looking for a calling, a sense of purpose that gives meaning to your daily efforts and connects your individual achievements to something larger than yourself. This is the nature of your cosmic inheritance, and any career that fails to provide this sense of meaning will eventually leave you feeling empty and unfulfilled, no matter how successful you may appear to others on the surface. With your Capricorn sun, your Venusian Decan influence, and your birthday number 2, all pointing toward a need for both achievement and connection, the ideal careers for you will be those that allow you to build something meaningful while also serving others and forming deep, lasting partnerships along the way. You have a natural talent for leadership, but it is not the aggressive, dominating type that seeks to control and command. Rather, it is the kind of leadership that inspires and empowers others to become the best versions of themselves. You understand that true leadership is not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about creating an environment where everyone can contribute their unique gifts toward a shared vision. This makes you exceptionally well-suited for roles in management, entrepreneurship, politics, in any field where you can build and lead teams toward ambitious goals. Your Venusian influence also gives you a natural affinity for fields that involve beauty, creativity, and human connection, such as fashion, interior design, hospitality, event planning, or the arts. You have an eye for aesthetics and a knack for creating environments that feel welcoming and harmonious, a tremendous asset in any client-facing business. And your number 2 energy adds a layer of diplomacy and emotional intelligence that makes you excellent at navigating complex interpersonal dynamics and building consensus. Now, let me share with you some famous historical figures who were born on January 2nd. Studying their lives can provide powerful inspiration for your own potential path. One of the most remarkable is Sir Isaac Newton, the legendary scientist and mathematician. His groundbreaking work in physics and mathematics perfectly exemplifies the Capricorn drive toward mastery, as well as the Venusian appreciation for beauty and elegance in theoretical frameworks. For you, Newton's life demonstrates the power of sustained, methodical effort in pursuit of transformative goals, and reminds you that the greatest achievements often come to those willing to refine their craft for years, even decades. But let's look at other notable January 2nd births to give you a fuller picture. I should clarify, we're focusing on figures who actually share your birth date. Looking at the historical record, January 2nd has been the birth date of many notable figures across various fields, each demonstrating some aspect of your cosmic energy in their life and work. The key takeaway here is that you have enormous potential to achieve great things in the world, but your definition of success must align with your deeper values and your genuine desire to make a positive difference. Money and status are not inherently bad, but they should be means to an end. When you build your career around a genuine desire to serve, to create, and to contribute something of lasting value, the material rewards will naturally follow. And more importantly, you will find the sense of fulfillment and purpose that your soul is seeking. Finally, we come to the realm of love and relationships, which is an area of life that holds extraordinary significance for the January 2nd Capricorn. Given that your birthday number 2 and your Venusian Decan influence both point toward a deep need for partnership, connection, and emotional intimacy, let me be absolutely clear about something from the start. You are not meant to navigate this life alone. Yes, you are capable, strong, and self-sufficient in many ways, and the world might sometimes try to convince you that you don't need anyone. But that is a lie that will leave you feeling empty and unfulfilled if you believe it. Your soul craves connection at the deepest level, and when you allow yourself to truly open to love, to be vulnerable, to let another person see the full range of who you are, you will discover a capacity for joy and fulfillment that you may have never imagined was possible. So let's talk about what you need in a partner and what you have to offer. As a Capricorn with Venus in the 2nd Decan, you are drawn to partners who possess both stability and warmth. Someone who is ambitious and driven, but also capable of emotional depth and genuine intimacy. You are not interested in superficial connections or relationships that are all show and no substance. You want a partner who is willing to do the inner work, who is committed to personal growth, and who understands that lasting love requires ongoing effort, communication, and a willingness to evolve together over time. Your ideal partner is someone who respects your need for independence and autonomy, while also being willing to create a deep emotional bond that sustains you through the challenges of life. They should be someone who appreciates your ambitious nature and supports your goals without feeling threatened by your drive for achievement, and who can also help you to lighten up, to have fun, and to remember that not everything in life needs to be so serious and structured all the time. In terms of zodiac compatibility, you tend to work best with partners who can match your level of commitment and depth. Earth signs like Taurus and Virgo tend to be highly compatible with you, as they share your appreciation for practicality, stability, and building something lasting together. Water signs like Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces can also be excellent matches, as they provide the emotional depth and intuitive understanding that your Venusian nature craves, and they can help you to access feelings that you might otherwise keep locked away for fear of appearing vulnerable. Air signs like Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius may present more challenges, as their generally more detached and intellectual approach can feel cold or ungrounded to your earthy nature. Though a well-aspected relationship with an air sign can also bring valuable new perspectives. Fire signs like Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius may struggle to provide the stability you need, though the right fire sign partner can definitely fan the flames of your passion and help you to embrace life with more enthusiasm and joy. One of the most important things to understand is that you tend to be somewhat guarded and protective of your heart, perhaps because you have been hurt in the past, or perhaps because you simply recognize the enormous vulnerability that true intimacy requires. This is completely understandable, given your Capricorn tendency to protect yourself with walls and boundaries. But I want to encourage you to recognize that this protective stance, while it may keep you safe from pain, also keeps you isolated from the very connection your soul craves. The key is to learn to open your heart in a way that is both courageous and wise, to allow yourself to be vulnerable while also maintaining healthy boundaries that protect your well-being. You deserve a partner who sees you fully, who accepts all of your complexity, and who is willing to walk alongside you on the journey of mutual growth and discovery. When you find this person, and I believe you will if you open yourself to the possibility, you will discover that your capacity for love is actually far greater than you ever imagined, and that the warmth and connection you have always been seeking have been waiting for you all along. If today's reading resonated with your soul, make sure to like this video and subscribe to AstrologicalChart. The universe is always speaking, and tomorrow we'll decode a new destiny. Until then, keep ascending.